Well, hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Wagon Wheel Friday. On screen are the results as they stood prior to the start of last weekend's investments. We had return on investment of 17.3%, but you'll notice that some of the bets here were quite small, only $2 and $3, and unfortunately Betfair has a minimum bet size of $5, and so I've decided that rather than try to get a return of $25 on our bets, I've doubled that up to $50, and so rather than having a bank of 500, we're starting with a bank of 1,000, and I've adjusted all of the numbers going forward. So as a result of last Saturday's races, there were only 2 of them. In the first one we backed 4 horses and Zaydani won for us, giving us a profit of $76 on that investment, and 3 other losses on that race, on Skyman, Godeline and Bartholomew Deus. And then in the next race, we were not so fortunate. Nudge ran second and Berdebeck ran fourth. And Berdebeck was at like $40, I think, so it would have been an awesome result if that had got up, but it didn't get close, really. Whatever the case, we had 5 bets in that race, so an investment of $26 for no return on that particular race. But putting it all together, following the win of Zaydani, we're now up to an investment of $422 so far for a profit of $94.80. Return on investment sitting at 22.5%, which is quite nice. Now, on last weekend there was another race that I did look at, and I was talking to my brother who lives in Townsville, and we had a look at the Mooloolaba Cup run up in Queensland. So I ran the wagon wheel over it, and it came up with the top selection being Prometheus, but it was a very wide betting race according to the wagon wheel, with the favourite being at like $8. So some very small investments needed there. But when it got to starting time, Prometheus was out to like $40 odd on Betfair, and I thought, well, that's just too attractive to let go. So I did have a bet on it. I'm not going to include it in the results because it did run third. I had $5 each way on it, as you can see on the screen grab from my Betfair account. I managed to actually get $38 the win about it, and $8 the place, and it did run third. So I made a profit on that, but we're not going to include that in our results because I'm only going to include in the results stuff that I discuss in any of the videos. So we'll get onto that a little bit later. So going back there, so that was quite nice. A good result there for me, backing Prometheus at $8 the place, which was almost what the wagon wheel said it should be for the win. So probably a good decision there, clearly. But it was a nice result in terms of what the wagon wheel was able to achieve. The second selection, according to the wagon wheel, was Wapiti, and that actually won the race. Unfortunately, we couldn't get on at that price. It was priced at $8.60, and I think it eventually went around at like only in the low $5. So it was pretty much favourite for the race. Ligulate was the overall favourite, I think. But anyway, Wapiti won the race. Prometheus ran third. Tokariki Lad ran fourth in the race, and Ligulate ran second. So the wagon wheel was very much around the mark. So pretty encouraging, that sort of result. So if you pick the right races, I think the strategy has some merit. Now you'll notice on my bet sheet here that I did have another bet on the day. I had $7.90 on a horse called Easy Single. Has nothing to do with the wagon wheel. I actually have a black book on my tab account. There are 5 horses in there currently. Ashford Street, which I think is outspelling. Easy Single, which I think is a nice horse. It's Lily is also a nice horse, but I think that's outspelling also. Paneg Sama, which is not a very good horse, but if the trainer can get its wayward manners sorted out in a race and get it to settle, I do think there are some wins for it around the corner. And then a horse called Zakurak, which again is not a high quality horse, but in the right race, drawn an inside barrier, and with a good start in the race, it runs on the pace, and in a little race over 950 to 1,000 metres at a reasonable price, I'm looking forward to maybe having a small investment on that one going forwards. Anyway, on to this week, and I've only found one race that I really want to apply the wagon wheel to. There are a number that also came close, but I couldn't understand how Tab was accounting for the class changes in that race. So I've just settled on the one race for this weekend, and that's the Zipping Classic being run at Caulfield. The wagon wheel clearly comes out with Spanish Mission, which is the best horse in the race by a long way. You'll notice that it's 10 points in front of the rest of the field. It's run third in the Melbourne Cup, and none of these horses here would have come anywhere close to that, I don't believe. However, an interesting thing about the wagon wheel and the way the pricing structure is working over here is that it's unlikely that it's going to come up with a good price about very short priced horses. And so in this particular case, we're rating Spanish Mission at $3 as being a fair price for the horse, and yet it's going around at $1.50. And that's probably an indication of how much better than the rest of the field Spanish Mission actually is. But the strategy is not really necessarily about trying to find the winner of the race. It's about backing horses which are well over the correct odds. And in this particular case, according to the wagon wheel, the correct odds for Wentwood is around about $7, and currently its price is about $15. And then the next one down, Lunar Flare, which ran an absolute shocker in its last race. The correct odds, according to the wagon wheel, is $8, but we can actually get $16. Warning, which did win very well at its most recent run, the wagon has it out at $14, and it's currently second favourite, so we're not backing that one. And then the last one, Silent Sovereign, just sneaks in. Wagon wheel rates it at $14, and it's currently at $19. So we're going to be having three bets this weekend, around about $7 on Wentwood, $6 on Lunar Flare, and I'm going to have to put $5 onto Silent Sovereign because the min bet on Betfair, as I said, is $5. And we're using Betfair because the odds there are usually 2 or 3 points longer than what you can get on the TAB if you time it correctly close to the race. So that's where we're at this week. I'm actually not all that confident that we're going to get a collect. So we're going to be having, 5 and 6 is 11. We're having an $18 investment. And to be honest, I'm expecting Spanish Mission to win by a very big margin. But that's not what the strategy is about. We're going with this. Let's hope we can have some success with it. With that done, I do hope you have some success with your punting this week. And I'll catch up with you again next week with the results of this week's activity and also a look at next week's races. Until I see you then, I hope you continue to keep very well.